Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Oh, flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let Citi relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Akusia Otre.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Ask them to release those kids to be in the house because even Friday they'll be vacating on Friday. So there is no difference between today and Friday. Looking at the water level, I don't think we have to allow them to come in.
It's a rainy season again, and it's almost becoming a normal thing to have flooding as a result of rains. But for residents of parts of the Volta and Greater Accra regions, the season also causes uproar in the sea, which results in displacement. We'll touch base with communities affected by the weekend's floods. Also coming up, in Sege, in the Greater Accra region, the NPP has suspended its former parliamentary candidate. It appears there's a clash between her and the constituency executives. And later on Eyewitness News, NPP flag bearer aspirant Alan Kwadwo Tremantin returns nomination forms to his party headquarters, saying he's very confident of victory. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
The AGI signals local industries may fall out on after due to tax imposition.
that's in 15 minutes from the business desk of Citi FM and Citi TV. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations. We are on Eagle FM 94.1 in the Vice President's hometown of Wale Wale. We are in Laura on Westlink 88.1 FM. We are in Zuarungu on Word FM 88.3 in the traditional capital of Dagbang. That's Yendi. We are on Dasuma 99.1 FM. We are in Hokwe on Heritage 107.3 FM. We are in Pando on Akpini Radio 96.7 FM. We are in Kumasi on Orange 107.9 FM. We are in Goso on Hames Radio 106.5. We are in Sunyani on Greener 95.9 FM. If you go to Takrady, we are on multiple stations, including Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM. The show is interactive. Do join us on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Send tweets using the hashtag Citi Newsroom. Tweet at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. And the world will hear what you think. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on citinewsroom.com. We are live across the world. Broadcasting from number 11, Dr. Martin Lube in Adabraka in Accra. It's a silly rainy season, and parts of the Volta and Greater Accra regions often get submerged as a result of the flooding. Now, what happened over the weekend in the Volta region is that is resulting in so many people being displaced. It is not news if you've been following the community. The only news is that more people have been affected. Akotia has a story.
The municipal chief executive for Ketu South, Maxwell Lugudo, has directed that basic school pupils in communities affected by the flood to be shut down while the situation persists. The flooding, which resulted from 3 weeks of continuous downpour, has caused destructions to several homes and cordoned several parts of the community from social amenities. Some schools have equally been impacted with water rising up to knee level in and around some basic schools. Mr. Lugudo, in an interview with Citi News, said he had given the direction in consultation with directors of education in the interest of saving lives.
Into some of the areas, the citizens or the people in the area at the other side, they are scared that if you open that path, the water may even affect them. We have to sit down and convince them that I will not sit down for the water to affect them. So as much as quickly I called for all those matters, the stakeholders, so that we can see a way of quickly finding a path for the water to flow into the bigger lagoon.
All right, so how about those who are displaced, those who cannot access their homes? What's a plan for them?
Yes, unless we find a path for the water to flow, for all these stable waters to flow through, there wouldn't be any way for them to go. So as I said earlier on, as quickly as possible, we even call for a machine, the smaller machine that can help us create a path for. This is not, we can use the simple tools like hose and shovel to do this. It's not for that. So that is actually what we are doing now.
Okay. Is there is there a place to temporarily relocate some of these people,
Yes.
especially those who do not have any close relatives around to
Yes, actually, luckily for us, everybody have a close relative around. What actually is happening is, this is an unexpected thing that happened. We didn't prepare any place now for them to lay their heads. I had a chat with some of the chiefs in the areas that they can find a place for them, especially we are advising people who have close relatives around that they can stay there for the time whilst we work on something as quickly as possible.
What are the numbers? How many people are we looking at?
Going around, you can also see yourself. But the information I'm having from the data from the NADMO is 2,000 plus.
Household or
Individuals.
Okay. You said I understand this is the first time this has happened in about 10 years. Should this continue? Should the rains continue like the way they came for the past 3 weeks? What's the medium to long-term plan?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We have to do it and do it once and for all. Because definitely the rain will be coming. We can't stop it. We don't have that power to stop the rain. So what we are going to do now is to look for that machine to quickly open the path for the water to go to the main lagoon. That is the only way for now.
What happened to schools that have been affected? And we are in the exam time and some of them are writing exam. What is the way forward?
Yes, as we are going around, you can see I was discussing this with the masters or the headmasters of the school. I even called the regional director, the municipal director of education, that as for the lower level, for instance, the kids, the kindergartens, I don't think their exams, even though it's necessary, not that to the extent where we should be losing a life. So I asked them to release those kids to be in the house because even Friday they'll be vacating on Friday. So there is no difference between today and Friday. Looking at the water level, I don't think we have to allow them to come in. So they have agreed to let the lower level be in the house while the GSS who are writing their exams, they can manage
Voice of
themselves till
Maxwell.
Friday.
That was the voice of Maxwell Lugudo. He's the MCE for Ketu South in the Volta region.
Let's go to Benjamin Aklama. He's our correspondent in the Volta region. Ben, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. So you have been in the Ketu South area all day. There are a lot of issues with the part of the sea waves coming into people's homes, which we've been reporting over the period. The part where it is raining now and the water, the floods are coming down, the rainwaters are causing flooding. And also the part that even the Volta River itself, when it terminates into the sea, would also have some consequences on the volumes of water. Please unpack the issues for us, and then and let us know what the way forward is so far on what you've been learning.
Right, good evening, Sanda. To provide perspective, the coastal belt of the Volta region, especially from Angola down towards Aflau, lies in between the sea to the right and the lagoon to the left, with several wetlands within the enclave. Now, these often result in flooding in the area, especially when the tides of the sea rage into the community. It brings destruction to lots of homes and displaces lots of people. But this time, it's quite a different story, especially in the Ketu South municipality. Those are things they had experienced in about 2010, 2011, thereabout, and had never experienced flooding from torrential rains until this time. Now, they say that it's because a certain road has been constructed by a benevolent citizen, which road was not properly engineered to allow for the free flow of water through the lagoon areas into the sea area, especially. And that is why several parts of the Ketu South municipality is getting flooded. So the situation as we speak is that several homes have been flooded, and about 2,000 people, according to the NADMO, have been displaced and have had to join pillows with family and friends around. Unfortunately, the water is receding into other communities which initially did not suffer the flood, and so more homes, according to the organization, is getting impacted by the flood.
I see. So it is a number of people who have been displaced again, and is it the same areas that we witnessed the flooding the last time, or the water is claiming more communities?
The water is claiming more communities compared to what happens during the tidal wave rage. The tidal wave normally impacts Blakusua, Dina, Salakofe, and those areas which are very close to the sea. In this case, the floods are impacting communities that are quite further away from the sea, including Agbozume, parts of Kliko, and a certain part of Aflao proper, close to the borderline, where the water is flowing in from the Togolese side. So the numbers are probably relatively larger this time because the floods are impacting homes that are even further away from the sea. Indeed, the homes that are so close to the sea that normally suffer the tidal wave rages are not so much impacted this time around. It's mostly communities that are close to the lagoon and wetland areas that are being impacted. Another thing worth mentioning is that the lagoon and the wetland areas are breaking their banks because of the sheer quantum of water that is pouring into them from the torrential rain, and that is causing the water to recede into homes and low-lying areas within the area, causing people discomfort, lots of discomfort.
Certainly, some people slept outside their homes yesterday, and some may do so tonight. What numbers are we talking about?
That is the 2,000 figure that the NADMO is referring to. Unfortunately, not everybody is willing to even speak to the media about their situation. Their claim is that this is not the first time a thing like that had happened, and they are blaming the condition on the construction of the road, but do not want the government or the municipal assembly to create a nook through the road, like to construct a culvert to allow the water to flow through the road, because they said they had suffered the bad road for several years and made several calls on the government to come and construct the roads, and they failed to do so until one Ajah, who is a native of the area, came to construct the road for them, albeit it's not properly done. But they would not even allow the assembly to break through the road and construct the culverts to allow the water to recede. That situation is what is holding the water mainly, according to the assembly engineer and the chief executive of the area. That is what is holding the water in the area and causing the floods. I must also mention that it's not just the Keta South municipality that is suffering the flooding. I'm speaking to you currently from the Keta Business College in the Keta municipality, which has lost its kitchen to the flood. So the kitchen women are now cooking in the dining hall because the kitchen is barely accessible, and the fish oven which they cook in with firewood is wet with the floods, and cooking cannot happen there. So the students are now compelled to feed in uncompleted structures while the kitchen women use the dining hall as the kitchen.
So, in your movements, you would have to be wading through water, or you would have to use canoes. How is movement generally in the communities like? How are people moving?
I am currently dressed in my Wellington boot and my life jacket because I need to use a canoe at some point and I need to move through water at some point. And it's relatively very dangerous because some people have dug loops to either accumulate water or to have the water that's flooding their homes recede into those loops. And those have become dangerous traps if you are not careful moving around, especially if you do not know the terrain. It's become quite a dangerous situation. So I am dressed in my life jacket and my Wellington boot. Other people are managing through the water. In some of the communities, there are canoes put on some of the flooded areas to convey, especially children who are going to school across to and fro, and also convey market women and other people who are just flying the area to and fro.
I see. You talked about school students or students there, not school students there. The information is that the schools have been closed. Is it all schools or just certain schools in the catchment area?
Well, this is supposed to be for schools within the catchment area and also just for basic school children. The MCE says that in consultation with the educational officers, they have agreed that it is not worth risking the lives of especially the basic school children. And more so, schools are expected to vacate come Friday, and so for the basic school students, pupils, really, they are allowed to just stay home until the vacation time is due. But for the JHS pupils who are expected to be of age and probably be able to handle themselves, they are allowed to manage to school if their school is accessible. But this only applies to schools that are accessible. Some schools are not at all accessible. The entire area is flooded, and it's very difficult to even access the classrooms.
The solution now is for the local assembly to move and work on the roads. You're saying that there's resistance to that. What that means is that there's a standoff, and that standoff would mean the water will remain there for a while, isn't it?
Well, that is what it seems like. As we speak, one community has agreed, and I understand the road has been broken to allow for water to go through with the intention to construct a culvert on that part of the road later on. But the other community, which is the major, has the major blockade to the water, has refused. When we got there this afternoon, the entire community, the women came shouting that they were not going to agree, that they suffered bad roads for long. This is not the doing of the road. Nobody should touch the road.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and for going there to cover this story for us, Ben.
My pleasure, sir.
That's Benjamin Aklama. He's our correspondent in the Volta region. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has been talking, hasn't it, Akosia?
Yes, the regional director for NADMO, Ivy Amewuga, says her outfit is compiling data and will soon provide necessary relief items to the victims.
We came to Ketu South this afternoon. We went to some of the places that were affected. Ativuta, but some of the Babanao Kope, and then at Babanao Kope, the basic school there was equally affected with enrollment of over 250 pupils. Okay, and then right now, currently we are at AME Zion, then Agbozume. And all these communities are also in Agbozume enclave. So far we have been to the places, we've assessed the situation. We realized that there were certain things that were causing the flood. Some places were blocked. Some roads were constructed which needed expert advice on the construction, but apparently the individual that constructed the road for that community didn't seek for expert advice before doing it. Hence, the people behind where the road was constructed are now facing the effect of the construction. So far, we've come to a conclusion that there are certain places that needs to be cut for the water to recede back into the lagoon. Until that is done, those communities will continue suffering because once there is a blockage, the water cannot flow. So until those places are cut, one community have agreed, and then they've created a path for the water move freely. But the other community are saying that they won't agree for the road to be cut, which the MC have assured us that he will talk to the community so that they listen to the advice, because that is the best thing to do so that other people can also get their homes back. But until that is done, we will still be facing this problem.
All right. So temporarily, while you seek to convince them to allow you to cut the roads, what's the plan for safety for those who have lost their homes and cannot return home?
Yeah, with what I have gotten from grounds, the MC assured me, you saw them with us, so they have gotten some safe havens for those whose homes have been flooded, and I'm sure that appropriate actions are being taken to move those people to their various safe havens, hopefully. Yeah.
All right.
Charlie, any arrangement for temporary relief item to solve?
She said she referred to havens, so relief items. Those who have lost their clothes and especially mattresses, blankets, and stuff like that. Any plans?
Yes, with what we have gotten and the figures that we have gotten now on ground, my operations team are already compiling the reports. We are going to send some reports to the headquarters operation team even before we get to Ho from here. So hopefully I'll put in a request, and then I'm hoping, because I've already informed the headquarters of what is happening on my way here. So definitely they are also on standby to get this report and then make some relief available. So definitely some little relief will be given to those who need them.
Sorry, I want you to say some relief will be given them. Don't bring the little.
Okay, so some relief will be given to those who need them.
I want you to cover this. You were saying because of the road, the construction.
So that was Ivy Amewuga. She's the Ketu North Regional Director for NADMO. Now, the Adan West Municipal Assembly in Accra says it has written to appropriate government agencies to appeal for funds to build a sea defense wall that will protect the community. This comes after tidal waves hit communities in Adan West on June 9, rendering hundreds homeless. Speaking to Citi News, the chief executive for the assembly, Samuel Tetekpankpa, says he is also calling on private investors to support the community.
We are sending a report to the NADMO regional office, and then we'll see what will be the reaction. But then, as usual, the problem in my area has to be solved by we wanted to do the sea defense if we should have the chance. Other than that, this has been happening, and relief items, the people are fed up with relief items. So bringing a relief item this time round, we don't think we'll solve the problem. So we are writing to the regional office seeking for sea defense. No, we are only seeking for private sector investors, and then those operating in the area, whoever is that wanted to help the district. We are ready. Doors are open for anybody with an idea that can help us to get sea defense and therefore change the situation.
Samson Tetekpankpa is the Chief Executive Officer of the Adan West Municipal Assembly. Now, the Ablekuma North Municipal Assembly in Accra has announced that the silting of drainage systems from tomorrow, June 13. This information was disclosed during a visit by the Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Dan Boche, to the MMDCs. Now, the Ablekuma North Municipal Chief Executive Kofi Foru explained to the media that the work in his municipality would have been delayed due to a procurement process.
I believe in good work than to rush. I say because you are coming in 2 weeks' time. Because when you start it today and it rains tomorrow, what do? Do we say because you are coming? So what can we do? So let's pray to God that will give us good weather. So that from tomorrow when we start, by 2 weeks time, by the time you come here, whatever you want to see, that is what you come and meet. But wherever we have reached.
Will the machines move to site tomorrow? Because all the places we have been to, we haven't seen any machine.
All the place we are starting tomorrow.
Including the deployment
Don't
of
worry.
machines.
When you come here tomorrow, then we have started. Today, we haven't started. So you will see it.
Kofi Fori is Blakuma North Municipal Chief Executive in Accra.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you, can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation Movement World Cup like that? Hey, sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Let's bring some of the messages you've been sending through. Aaron Babako Kokomisa from Accra says, the best way to fight corruption in the system is when the media continues to hold duty bearers accountable and making sure that right to information bill is fully executed. Next message that is coming through from Emil Aquincivi in Sujama. He says, the rain is in again, and the people who usually experience this situation must take caution and move to safety. This one says, I really cannot fathom why we behave the way we do as Ghanaians. Flooding has now become an annual natural disaster when it's actually caused by humans, you want to say. Paul Aka Jr. from Hafomim there. Fiamogo in Abo says, teachers in this country are really suffering, but it seems no one cares about them. They suffer and cross floods before going to school. This one from Jones Aduboy in Lai says, this government's lackadaisical attitude towards water region is bad. This issue with tidal waves and flooding has been an issue since, but as usual, they're careless about it. More messages are coming through. I'll go to them. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi. Let's go to Sege now. It's a constituency in the Greater Accra region. Currently has an NDC member of parliament who has lost his parliamentary primaries. But on the MPP side of things aren't looking that good. Prince Akoto is a Sege constituency secretary of the NPP. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you very much.
Why have you suspended your parliamentary candidate who led you to war in 2020?
Oh, good evening to Citi FM. Good evening to our listeners. Yeah, so, in every party there is a constitution that guides our conduct. And issues of discipline in a political party are very key to ensuring that we have a successful electoral process. So it just so happened that our sister found herself at the wrong side of the law, and she would need to be put right. But these are internal party issues, and we expected that they remain so. Rather unfortunate that it got to you people.
Well, it's gotten to us already and it become national news now. So maybe you want to share with us. I've looked at the suspension letter. Her crime is that she was playing loud music at a match that you organized or at a walk that you organized. How is that a crime?
No, we didn't say she committed crime. We said she engaged in misconduct.
Okay, so playing loud music, misconduct, explain please.
Okay, so it's not just about playing of the music that is the issue. It is about the fact that her activities cause disunity and factionalism. You know, we listed the various activities, misconduct in the letter that day. So it's not just about going to play music. People have been playing music every day. And so it's not just about it, but it's about the intentions and the purpose of doing it. That was the issue.
Okay, so explain how the music caused disunity at your work.
Okay, so like I said, I wouldn't want to go into details. These are party issues, but you see, this is a program that was organized in a way at a time when the party has a lot of apathy because of some developments in the constituency, and it was meant to bring everybody together to ensure that we keep up some hope into the people. So if at the gathering, anything that happened that ensured, and indeed, it so happened that the party was divided that day, with some group going some other way, and the groups that were gathered for the party activity was divided, leading to some unfortunate other development that day. It was not bad, and that was the final straw that broke the camel's back anyway.
Is it the case that you as a constituency executive block, you have an issue with her? She led you in 2020, didn't she?
No, yes, of course. We don't have issue with her. Of course, you can imagine that we led her. It's not well with her in that election. But we have had a lot of issues of indiscipline, and we think that it's getting to a stage where we need to just ensure that there is discipline. That's all.
So the indiscipline, can you give one or two instances of indiscipline by your PC?
Okay, so like I said, I'll go beyond what is in the letter. Party issues generally are not supposed to be discussed to the public, but this one has come to the public already, so that's why we can discuss that one. But what else has happened that has not been so reported in that letter? Unfortunately, I can't go to that one.
So you can't tell us how she's dividing the party?
I mentioned for that particular day, and other ones that was not mentioned in the letter, I can't mention that one.
Yeah, but people would want to, now that it is out, the cat is out of the bag. It's fair if you shared more details with us.
No, bear in mind, like you said, this is somebody who has been a PC before, and there's opportunity for her to rectify these things, and may still want to come back sometime to come and contest an election. And so I wouldn't want to go in a way that I'll be running her down, so that if she finally becomes a PC in the future, it becomes an issue for her.
All right. So it means that your party remains divided because you had organized a walk hoping to unite the party, and she comes and then, causes disruptions. You said that she was playing loud music instead of focusing on the program that was happening. She sort of divided the people who had come for the walk, so people were not even listening to the program.
So the loud music was not just, like I mentioned, it's not just about the loud music. It was at the timing of the loud music. If you read the letter, there was a time that there was, when party gathers, there must be an address to the gathering. And so when it's intentionally meant to disrupt the address to the people, and then also there was other activity that drove the crowd, separated them, for the day, and leading to some misunderstanding between members of the party that were gathered on the day. You can imagine, and those ones have been described in our constitution as misconduct, and so we think that some other things have happened earlier, and at this stage we need to ensure that we have discipline. That's all.
You also stated in your letter to her that your organizer engaged in fisticuffs. How is that her fault?
Okay, so if you read that, it was because those of the party members that she got to act the way that they would definitely not want to budge when they were prompted to abate it. And so the organizer would want to get them to stop that. And so that led to the physical. And so if she instructed the people to do what they were doing, and the people in enforcing her instruction led to the physical, you can imagine that it doesn't augur well for the party.
This suspension, does it have the blessing of the party at the regional and national level?
So the constitution tells us that when you do so, you must inform them. And so we've referred it to the region, and the region will also, after their own level of activities, will also refer to the national.
What next?
Oh, so we look forward to what region we see, what national we see, and so on and so forth.
But for now, she remains suspended till when?
So the suspension is somehow reversed, if so. Or if she decides to, she knows what to do if she wants to get it reversed.
It does not sound like the party is healthy in Sege, is it?
It is. It is.
How so? Because you are at a time where the NDC's MP has lost the internal primaries, but you also seem disorganized.
Okay, so you see, it is for this reason why we want to ensure discipline. We want to maintain our organized look, and so we want to ensure that we don't leave any stone unturned in ensuring that. So that's why we are taking this action. It is for that reason, to ensure that we look healthy, we look organized, we look disciplined, we look focused, united into the election. That's why we want to ensure discipline.
We are told that your executive bloc is supporting another candidate aside this particular Eunice Lassie. And it is for that reason that she decides then to disregard you, because even before your internal primaries, you have taken or you have chosen a side.
That cannot be true. Okay, so the party is yet to open nominations, and so we cannot even be supporting one side yet. She has not declared intention to contest either, and so it couldn't be that she had declared intention and then she has been disregarded also.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Wish you all the best. So keep an eye on your constituency.
Thank you very much.
That's the constituency secretary for Sege on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, Prince Akoto, there speaking to us. We had booked an interview with the regional chairman, Divine Agohom, to know what the party's position is. We've not been able to reach him. We've also had agreed to speak to Eunice Lassie, who is the NPP parliamentary candidate for 2020, who has been suspended. Unfortunately, we are unable to get through to her. If we do get through to her before the show ends, we'll hear from her on what steps she's going to take subsequent to this decision of her party. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Let's go to the national offices of the NPP now, shall we?
Yes, and the party's flag bearer, hopeful Alan Trematin, says it will be a privilege for him to lead the NPP to achieve the Break the AIDS agenda. He made this known after filing his forms for the presidential primaries. The former trades minister says he is confident of victory in the upcoming primaries. He was accompanied by Minister of Railways Development Peter Amewu, Deputy Finance Minister Abinol Asare, some members of parliament, including Sylvester Tete of Botiano English Yamanfo and Davis Ansaupoku of Impriso, and the former General Secretary Kwabena Ohinentu. Speaking at the party headquarters, Alan Chramate indicated he will work to secure victory if voted for.
It is with the greatest pleasure that I submit to you this afternoon my nomination forms duly completed to contest for the flag bearership of our great party. It will be an honor and privilege for me to lead this great party to a historic victory in December 2024 and usher into Ghana a new era of stability, growth, and prosperity. I'm accompanied to this ceremony by a very powerful, distinguished representation from the Parliament of Ghana, and also for a group of very dynamic young people of our great party, who, in my view, represent the future of the NPP.
Alan, Kojo Chramate is NPP flag bearer hopeful?
The former member of parliament for Adentan, former director of communications of the New Patriotic Party, Yao Boabina Samoa, is a spokesperson, campaign spokesperson for the Alan Kojo Chramate campaign. YB, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. You submitted your forms in person, didn't send people to do the submission. Any particular reason your candidate did that?
Because it's important. It's important that we show that his intent is genuinely and deeply, sincerely serious. He's serious about leading Ghana. He's serious about securing the flag bearership that will give him the space to lead Ghana. He's serious about the change he intends to bring. He's serious about creating prosperity for all. And so he came forward himself to deliver his nomination papers.
Again, remind us what he told party members who came there to support him, why he should be the guy who should be on the flag for the NPP.
The core of it is that, given the current situation in Ghana, you need a candidate for the NPP the Ghanaians are willing to accept as the way forward. And that's the bottom line, that Mr. Chramate has appealed across various strata of society in Ghana. And that what is important now, that the NPP recognizes that appeal and puts him forward as the flag bearer. So believe that if the NPP selects Mr. Chramate, Ghanaians are very, very likely to vote for him. And that is how you break the eight. You break the eight with a candidate that many Ghanaians favor.
And he is a guy who can break the eight for you. Does it mean he's the only one who can break the eight, so that at the end of August or November, if we do not see Alan on the flag, we are certain that NPP would not break the eight?
That is why we compete. We expect to put this across the delegates, and we are working very hard at it. And as we speak, we have a very deep conviction that a majority of delegates who are going to select the flag bearer have accepted the message that Mr. Chramate is the right one to present the people of Ghana. Only one person will be selected, and that one person must come with the qualities that will secure us victory. It cannot be the case that anybody, 1 cent, will be accepted. Because don't forget, this conventional situation where it's been swinging around in 8-year cycle, we are at that end of that 8-year cycle where many may assume that it will swing in the other direction. So you need to break that stranglehold, because it comes with detrimental effect on the national economy, where after 8 years everything is swept aside and things start afresh. Development cannot conclude in 8 years. And therefore, the series MPP is running now is that, given the opportunity, if we break the eight, we will consolidate the best of what we've done, improve what needs improving, and bring up a new vision that will create sustainable prosperity for our people. And the one person who is associated with creating prosperity, the one person who has a powerful record in job creation, the one person who we believe has the competence and capacity to make a difference, given the relevance of its expertise to the needs of Ghana now, creating jobs, expanding the economy, creating opportunities, creating sustainable incomes is Mr. Chematin. So it's not a question of whether we break the eight with him or not. We believe that with him, we can break the eight. So it's a question of impressing upon delegates that he is the right choice. And it is not a negotiable situation.
The economy is not in good shape. What would be the Alan strategy? Would he align with the state of affairs and the Akufo-Addo government and say, I was part of it, I would defend it, or he will wash his hands off and say that he's going to chart a different path?
If you will recall the great transformational plan, the broadcast that Mr. Chematin gave at the beginning, when he initially moved out of government to start his campaign, he says it very clearly in that document that his is a foundation of what has been achieved. He's part of this government. He was part of the before government. So the entire collective NPP policies over the period are his domain. And he's been part of this government. It doesn't say anywhere that he dislikes this government. But what he has said is that there are things we could have done differently. There are things we probably could have done better. So when he comes in, the first element of the GDP is a stable macro environment. And that is what we are all seeking to achieve the IMF program. And then he kicks in the GTP, which means even as the IMF program is agreed to restabilize the government, he has a plan on the table already to grow the government. And that is the great transformational plan. He is the only candidate at the moment who has a coherent plan that can be interrogated by anybody willing to do so. And that plan recognizes the need for macro stability. It's a continuation and an improvement and an acceleration of what we have now.
What's next for the campaign?
We are still talking to delegates. We have probably a superdelegates conference ahead of us, and then the actual conference in November. Our duty now, our job now, is to engage delegates to the best of our ability, and that is what we are doing and will continue doing.
Wish you all the best, and thank you for speaking to us.
It's a pleasure, sir.
That's Yao Boabina Samoa, lawyer, former member of parliament, campaign spokesperson, Alan Kojo Chematin, campaign team. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. Talking about the MPP, we brought you a story a short while ago, which has to do with the NPP in the Sege constituency. We spoke to the constituency secretary, Prince Akoto. It has to do with the suspension of the party's parliamentary candidates for 2020. Eunice Lassie is her name, and she's joining us on the line. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
Have you received this suspension letter that is in publication on citynewsroom.com and other portals?
Yes, please.
What's your reaction to that?
Thank you very much. I want to say good evening to all your listeners. I have this letter from the constituency executive last Thursday.
Okay, and what do you make of it?
Sorry?
What do you make of it, the suspension letter?
To me, it's just a normal letter because you've organized per the content of the suspension letter. And my offense was you've organized unity walk, NPP unity walk, and the constituency. So I attended the unity walk. When I got there, I realized that all the constituency, almost all of them, were in a particular candidate or aspirant t-shirt. And I was like, no, this is not a unity walk. If it's a unity walk, you as a constituency executive, you should stay neutral so that we go and do our politics, go for our elections. Whoever emerges the winner, you can work with the person, but you cannot take sides while even nominations have not been opened, we've not even filed yet, you've not even closed nomination yet. You cannot support a candidate. So if that's what they are going to do, then I have to also organize myself and my people. So we also have a walk within the unity walk. And that's what happened.
So you had a subsect within the bigger bracket of the party, doing your own work, chanting your own chants and singing your own songs and playing your own music. That's what's happening. Parallel work, if you like.
You know, my intention of bringing that music there was not to destroy their work, just to bring, it's MPP unity work. You understand? So I also think that, okay, if that would be like, let me help with my machine. So I called my people to just fix the machine. In case there is a need for them to come around to support the work, I will call them. So when I got to the ground at Nakonkobi, that's why I find out that almost all of them, almost all of them wear in Doji's t-shirts. So I asked my people to come with the machine. I can't go back. Because I also have my people on the ground. I can't go back. So quickly I have to organize myself.
Your constituency secretary, Prince Akoto, was he part of the people wearing the t-shirt of the other candidate?
No, please. But the chairman, the woman organizer, I think there's deputy youth organizer, some few of them.
So they don't like you?
I don't have problem whoever likes me or not. Because it has happened before. It's still on record. Our last 4 years parliamentary race that we went, none of them supported me. So I don't have problem with who they support or not, but not to the extent of organizing MPP work. I got there and it became Doji's work. That's why I don't want to take from them. So I decided, no, I won't take this from them. Then I also have to organize my people. So I talked to them and allowed them to also have fun. Because at a point you could see they were just doing the thing as if it's about Doji and not even the MPP.
What if it was Doji who financed and organized the work and not the party necessarily?
So what stops them from making that announcement that Doji is having a unity work? So why then the MPP unity work? In the moment you said it's a unity work, which means there is a crack. That's why you're calling for unity work. What stops you from saying it's Doji's work? If I want to do a work in Citi constituency, it will be a work with Lassie or something. But I can't say MPP unity work. No.
Okay, so you disrupted the work. That's what the party is accusing you of. You agree that you did the disruption?
I didn't disrupt the work. They deceived the public.
Oh, they say you were playing music. Anytime they want to speak, you keep playing music. And
it's a lie. It's a lie. They asked my people to lower their music so they can speak. We did that. I wish Akoto or the chairman, any of them should come on this platform and tell the whole public that we didn't even off our machine for them to speak. We did that.
They said you brought your own private security to the ground because you knew you were coming to everyone. They say you knew you were going to come with violence and even led to fisticuffs between the organizer and some members of your group.
To be honest with you, it is not my own private security. They are party members. And they got irritated from the way they announced and projected the work. It was like, we're having a unity work, this person will be coming, and my name was omitted. So they know there is a problem. So they all came in their numbers. I mean, I don't have problem with that. Why should he say I brought my security guy? Why are you saying that?
How are you proceeding now? You have been served a suspension notice. What steps are you taking? Are you just going to watch it roll out or you're going to challenge it? What's the plan?
I'm just going to respond to it. But before I do that, I want them to give me a report from the disciplinary committee because they invited me. The disciplinary committee in the constituency invited me and asked me the same questions, and I gave them my response to why it happened like that. I even end up saying, oh, if that is the problem, then just tell executives, I'm sorry, because the respect is reciprocal. That's what I told them. So I was also demanding that I need the report from the disciplinary committee. And they were like, no, they can't give me. But the report they gave to chairman was not what he sent to me. Last Saturday, the communication officer of the party in Sege constituency went to Okoliasa to tell them that the report from the disciplinary committee is what they've written and sent to me as a suspension letter. So they had all those reports from the disciplinary committee that they need to suspend me. So quickly I called them, but because this is not what we discussed. So I called them and they were like, no, that was not what we presented to them. So Eunice, if you think we are lying, just request for the report. So that's what's happening.
Okay, we'll be following this story. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Eunice Lassie. She's NPP parliamentary, or she was NPP parliamentary candidate for the 2020 election. She's just been suspended by her party executives in the constituency who say that she was engaging in misconduct, for which reason they handed her down that suspension. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Up next, Netele Nete is in studio with the latest in the world of business. And then we have the City Business Festival, the on-air series coming up next. Tonight's topic is on building strong SME brands. The guest is Dr. Andrea Iku. He is a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, and he will be engaging Bernard Kokwavle. Please stay tuned in.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, proudly brought to you by citibusinessnews.com. Let's settle for the details now. The Association of Ghana Industries has reiterated calls for government to implement favorable policies that will give local industries a competitive edge under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The association maintains that the constant imposition of taxes and the surge in the cost of doing business in the country has led to the escalation of prices of goods produced locally, which may cause a fallout of producers under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Chonam Clense Akbelo is the Greater Accra chairman of the association, and he's been speaking to Citi Business News.
Given that in this era that we're supposed to be competing in the free market, the African Union Continental Free Market, the competition will essentially be based on price and quality. And if you are being burdened on daily basis of some of these taxes, it would naturally make the cost of your goods higher and make you uncompetitive in this era of continental free trade. We may have the headquarters in Accra, but there is no guarantee for success in trading. The people who will be successful in the free market are people who are able to compete favorably on price and quality. And clearly Ghana is not one of those countries that's able to compete on price because of all of these taxes compared with the cost of doing business in Ghana. You know that utility prices have gone up in recent times. You know, the cost of doing business has gone up high. The inflation rate is all-time high, in excess of 40%. So businesses are truly challenged.
That was the Greater Accra chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Chonam Clense Akbelo. The Ghana Chamber of Mines is impressing on the government to deepen engagements with players within the mining industry to reconsider the growth and sustainability levy, as it has a crippling effect on the sector. This follows the implementation of the Growth and Sustainability Levy and two other new taxes that were introduced on Monday, May 1, 2023. Speaking at the 95th Annual General Meeting of the Chamber, President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Joseph Mortorti, indicated that the levy could potentially jeopardize the taxation environment.
The non-deductibility nature of the Growth and Stability Levy in particular could be described as an aberration from global practices, as it effectively increases the risk borne by investors in Ghana's mining sector without a complementary compensation measure from the government. This trend could foul the taxation environment and turn it into something else from what it currently is. More so, the levy endangers the continuous operations of our mines and risks curtailing the expected cash flows associated with their impose. Such an outcome would not only hurt the state's revenue objectives, but also threaten the security of employment, businesses of mining support services companies, as well as mining firms' continued investment in their host communities. Furthermore, the immediate application of the levy will lead to an increase in the cost of operation at a time when the financials of the companies have already been concluded without considering the impact of the impose.
Joshua Mortorti is the president of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. And finally, Fitch Ratings has affirmed the credit ratings of some Nigerian banks operating in Ghana, including Access Bank, Guarantee Trust Holding Company, and Zenith Bank. The affirmations underscore the stability of these banks and their prominent positions in the banking sector. Fitch affirmed Access Bank's PLC long-term issuer default rating at B- with a stable outlook. It also affirmed the creditworthiness of the Guarantee Trust Holding Company, subsidiaries of Guarantee Trust Holding Bank. Zenith Bank's national long-term rating was also affirmed at AA- with a stable outlook. And that's it for City Business News on Eyewitness News. It was powered by citybusinessnews.com. My name is Nete Ajaho. Have a good evening.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.
You know, Papa see that? And it's Rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa!